Hello everybody and welcome to the channel J.I. Colorist. If you're new here, my name is Jody and I'm so happy to have you here for my second video in my series of my coloring book collection. I have decided to I only have 125 books, so this shouldn't be many videos, but I decided to kind of group the authors because I seem to have a bunch of books by many authors. So the first video was Johanna Basford, and the next series is going to be Lulu Mayo. So I have all of these books. We are going to go through them quickly. I'm not going to do a full flip of every page. I'm going to show you the book and the pictures I have colored in them. If you want to see a full flip through of any particular book, I'm sure there are flip throughs on the YouTube here. And I welcome any comments about which is your favorite page, and if there's a page you would like to buddy color in, contact me on Instagram at J.I. Colorist. I think I'm going to start at the bottom of the pile this time, and this is a book that will be in a future haul. I purchased this off of Lyrica, and I purchased this using points that I received via my link in the video description, which is if you have ever not purchased from Lyrica before, you can get a discount on your first purchase, and there's a referral code. So based on those referral codes, a number of people had bought books, and so I was able to actually pick up this book for $5. So this was a $33 book off of the Lyrica website, and I was able to get this book. This book is a compilation book, so I have not colored any pages in it yet. And at the back of the book, it does tell us, so it's kind of a faux hardcover. It's a thicker cardboard covered with a piece of paper. So it's not exactly hardcover, but it's not really her normal soft cover. And this book includes A Million Cats from 2015. So she had, before her new Million Cats and Dogs, she had previously issued books. So the first one was A Million Cats from 2015, A Million Bears 2016, A Million Dogs 2016, A Million Mermaids from 2020, A Million Cute Animals from 2021, Magical Creatures from 2021, Million Sea Creatures from 2022, A Million Little Monsters 2023, and A Million Baby Animals from 2024. Now, I only had, out of all of these, A Million Bears and A Million Cute Animals, and A Million Sea Creatures. So out of the 8 that are in here, I had 3. So I thought that was pretty good. The one that I really wanted was A Million Little Monsters. I was interested in that one. So it's kind of nice. She's divided this book into seasons. So each season has its own mix of pictures from all the different books. So we've got fall or autumn, and it is a French book, but really this is a coloring book, so not too worried about that. So I do recognize some of this. This is from A Million Cute Animals. And so each page, it doesn't tell us where it's from, but if you have any of her other books, you may recognize them. So it goes through the different seasons. Some of them have the black background and some don't. So there's still lots of pictures in here that I haven't done. There are some pictures that I've already colored in my other books, but it's always kind of nice to go back and redo a page, especially if somebody wants to buddy on them. So pretty happy with having this book, and I look forward to coloring in it later. But this is my untouched book, and this was a purchase from May 2025, so it's just a brand new book, but I thought I better include it in my collection. So that's that one. Then the next, we're going to go from a book that I haven't touched at all to a book that I have fully completed. There is a full flip through and a playlist on my channel of all my completed coloring books. This one I completed just this year, and it was through the efforts of people buddy coloring with me. So I started this book in 2022 and I finished in February of 2025. So even a small book, This has a lot of pages and it doesn't get finished quickly. So please don't think that I speed through books all that fast. They do take me a lot of time, and I do have many, many buddy colors in them. So this is A Million Cute Animals, and I will just flip through a couple of pages with you. So I do like this opening page here. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. Okay, I've adjusted the camera, and hopefully this is sufficient and you can see the whole book without me moving things around. So as I mentioned, this is the title page I did, and I actually didn't even recognize that it was this picture here. I just colored it, and then was doing it as a buddy color, and they picked yellow and they said, well, it's the cover page, and I'm like, oh. So sometimes I just focus on the picture itself, and I didn't even realize that it was this. I do have a few problems with Lulu Mayo paper, like everybody, but actually I find that limited watercolors works. The Pitt pens and the Staedtler pigment pens work well. Gel crayons work well. Polychromos work well. I do use Winsor Newton iridescent medium and gel pens. I do use lots of glitter, and that's from the Mod Podge. So as I say, this is a complete, I've got stickles here. So I do use a lot of different mediums in here. There's some washi tape along here and water-based markers. And this is pretty much all color pencil with some glaze pen and some gel pens, some washi tape. So this is an example of some glossy accents on the eyes, and then there's quite a bit of watercolor on here. I also have used the Spectrum Noir brush pens that have like the sparkle ink, and that's what all of this dark green ink is. And that, as long as you don't use it too heavily, doesn't bleed through. The other thing to do is, if you are wanting to do a second coat, I always wait for it to dry, and then you can come back with a second coat. But I also found the 4 Candies waxy mechanical pencils worked really well in this book. This is a background of acrylic paint, so that works well. So if you're having problems in the book, just try some different mediums until you find one that works for you, because it definitely is able to finish a book with, this has soft pastels on it, gel pens, some ink, some watercolors, and this is all watercolor here. So it is totally available. And then this is a dark brown gelato, and it's a metallic, so it's a little bit shiny. And then there's some Mod Podge Glitter Extreme on top of pencil. So if you would like to see absolutely every page, again, there is a flip through, and I might include it in the video description since this is a completed book, so that you can find it a little bit easier. So that's A Million Cute Animals. I had a lot of people buddy color with me to help me complete this book, so thank you to all my buddies. I also used this book last year in 2024 as a one book July, so I just focused on one book for the whole month. So I got quite a few pages done in there. When I am getting close to the where I see a book might be on its way to being complete, or like halfway, I will start a page countdown. So there were 64 pages in this book to color, and happy that they are all done. The next book here is, and these are not in any particular order. This is A Million Sea Creatures, and I have 49 pages left in this book, so still quite a few. And because it's a sea I tend to do a lot of blue and a lot of watercolor, so I've been playing around in this book for a while. When in doubt, and if your background isn't how you like it, sometimes I will use Mod Podge Extreme Glitter on top of it to make it ultra sparkly and make it more like the water. This one is watercolor and glaze and a bunch of different stuff. And then I've got Winsor Newton. If I move the page, hopefully you can see all of these little squiggly lines here. That is Winsor Newton iridescent medium used on top of the watercolors, just straight from the bottle. I tried to make this a Christmas page. And this one, I used a palette, and so I've marked down here that this was a palette number 278. I do find using a palette helps me organize my color chaos. Here's a page that I used quite a few Calero, the rainbow set, the watercolor. So they're metallic. And there's metallic on all of the dolphins here. Quite like how that turned out. Very colorful. And here I made this into a double page spread, and this was a buddy color. I used Neocolor 2 for some of this. And then I used Deli crayons and Bambino crayons on this side. And some watercolor. So yeah, so this one is crayons and this one is Neocolor 2, and both worked out well. And it looks like a gelato or gelato background, I would think, for both of them. Now this page I can feel is watercolor. And I also used glossy accents by the looks of it, or that type of material to do the outside of the bottle because it's shiny. And I've got some glaze in blue I can see. I like how this page turned out. But yeah, definitely watercolor. You can feel the pages. This one has, I believe that there's a background video on these two pages, and I used sponged on acrylic paint, but also there's a glimmer to the page when I move it, and that is dragonfly glaze. I remember doing that. I do like how both of these pages turned out, and we've got watercolor, and the rays have dragonfly glaze in them, which I would have just used straight from the bottle. So yeah, lots. And then this is a video on my channel, and I can see this slight shimmer on quite a bit of this, and this was done with the Staedtler brush pens. So I'm just going to grab one. Sorry, not the Staedtler. These are the Spectrum Noir brush pens that I use, and you shake them up. There's some subtle sparkle in them, and they have a real brush. And you need to store them upright, so I do have them stored upright so that they don't leak. Don't squeeze them hard, and just yeah, I do like using those. And I got some watercolor. So people that say they can't use watercolor in this book, you can, and I have done it many times. Hopefully you're in frame. This is my rainbow page, and I used some of the Sharpie markers to get rid of, so the Sharpie paint pens to get rid of the lines on the rainbow, and then I used pencil. And I like the clouds. I like how they're all rainbow clouds as well, different colors, lots of colors everywhere on this page. I thought that was pretty. And then I brought the rainbow over to here. I used the Calero Rainbow Metallic watercolors for the dolphins again, and also in the waves. So the center is quite shiny, and then the background is actually ink, I believe. Although, no, I think it's going to be the gel crayons because I don't have red ink. So that's going to be gel crayons. Just a couple more. This would have been done for Mermaid. Again, lots of shiny bits. And we've got some the Jelly Roll glaze. I do like using those as water droplets and stuff. This was a buddy color with Laura, Kaleidoscopic Colors. And I used Cullinor woodless pencils this time. And the blue is the Jelly Roll glaze. But yeah, I do like to try out different pencil brands in here, and those are all my completed pages from A Million Sea Creatures. So lots to go. In fact, there are 49 pages left to go in this book. Now this book here is A Million Bears, and it is one of the ones in the compilation book. I just got this last year, I think, from Book Outlet. There are not many pages in here, so I'll just skip to I think I've got 1 or 2 done. This was a buddy color with Art Light Life. If I've left a note on here with who I did the buddy color with, I'll give them a shout out. If I know I've done a buddy color but I don't know who it is, I'll just let you know that it was a buddy color. I don't want to accidentally give out wrong information. But that's it. I've only got the 1 page done in here. So it was a late add to my list. This is A Million Owls, and I've done a few pages in this. I think I haven't done many because I haven't started a countdown, so I'll just flip through. It's got all kinds of owls. You can tell this is her older style. It's an older book. She does her eyes differently now. Okay, so this was a buddy color, and I'm pretty sure it was with Tammy Colors too. But again, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But I know it was a buddy color. I used glossy accents on the eyes and ink in the background. And then it looks like Staedtler pigment pens on the trees and pencils for the rest of them. Tried to make the chameleon kind of blend into the ball since they're able to adapt. And then I have another page. This I did for in October for Pink Owltober, and for Sam's Way Coloring, I believe. Look at the glitz on her diamond ring. And that's it. So I've only got the double page plus 1 extra page done. So definitely lots to do in A Million Owls. A Million Sloths. I had to get this book. I'm a big sloth lover. I just think that they're a fun, amazing animal, and they move at their own speed, which is wonderful. I have 45 pages left to color in here, and I haven't colored in here for a little while, so I do have a buddy color coming up. This is I tried to make it kind of like a double page spread, so I brought the colors over from both, but I really loved how I did this teapot. And I put glossy accents over the windows and made the little fishies in there swimming through the tea. I thought that was just precious. And then we've got just a bunch of coordinating colors over here, and I really had fun on that page. Now this is from a long time ago. I used Progresso pencils, and I did it in July 2022, so over 3 years ago. And I've got some sparkle pen, gel pen here, I can see, and it's nice to see that they're still sparkly even after 3 years. So Now this here is a double page spread, and I keep the glassine in here because this is quite textured, and I used pencil on this page, but the blue is actually Recollections glitter paste, and it's similar to Stickles, but it comes in a jar, and I smeared it on, so it is quite bumpy. So I will have to make sure that I do this page with a Staedtler pigment pen, because then it won't matter that it's bumpy. As if I use pencil, you will see every little ridge. But I had quite a bit of fun. I love the color palette that I used. I love the orange and the blue. I have my color wheel close to me when I'm coloring. So if I pick a color on a page, I'm always looking at the complementary color or the split complementary color, just to make sure that I'm kind of choosing my colors right. And I've been doing that for a number of years. Here is a recent page from March 2025. So here's a page for that. So this is pretty recent. It's pencil and pigment pen and some ink for the background. And then I used some little stickers for the Sakura, so little cherry blossom stickers, and that worked out well. This is a page from last year, 2024, and I know it was a buddy color. And we've got some sparkles on quite a few spots here, and that would have been the Mod Podge Extreme Glitter. I used to use Stickles all the time, but then I started using Mod Podge Extreme Glitter in lieu of Stickles. Stickles are a little bit pricey, and I have a hard time squeezing them out of the bottle. And so, you know, you're using a pin to fix the bottle, and quite frankly, sometimes it's just easier to use a silicone tipped tool and dip into the big glue bottle that Mod Podge comes in and dab it on where exactly you want it. So I've been doing that. And here is a double page spread. This side is all watercolor, and I used a watercolor ground on it. And I can tell that because there are some streaks kind of on the page itself. And I also used Neo Color 2 and a bunch of other things, but everything on here is watercolor. So we've got Graphitint and some Signo gel pen, it looks like. But yeah. Over here we've got Neo Color 2 for the page itself, and then we've got sponged on acrylic paint. When in doubt, acrylic paint is awesome. I don't use acrylic paint pens as much as actual acrylic paint with a sponge or a paintbrush. This is gelato in the background, and then some washi tape, and then this is the Mod Podge Extreme Glitter on all the rice to give the rice a little bit of zip. So this is my sushi page. And this is from June 2022. Just learning with pencils and a little bit of gel pen by the looks of it. This is a page from March of 2022, and I did them on different times, but I did try and bring over some of the colors from each side. I've got the Calero watercolor paint on here, I can tell. I don't have that many watercolor paints, so when I see it's red glitter, I know exactly which series it came from. And over here as well, there's watercolor. And then a lot of pencil. And this side is from March 2022, and I used Bambino clay crayons on this one. I do like to use the clay crayons. They very much act like pencil crayon, so it's a comfortable medium. They blend well with Gamsol, which is my preferred method of blending, and I also used a bunch of dual hybrid, or at that point it would have been the Sparkle Pop gel pen for the center and some Jelly Roll. And then down here I just completed it with a little bit of washi tape to kind of tie the page together. And that is the last page. No, it isn't. A couple pages left. This was done with Graphitint and Staedtler watercolor graphite pencils. Pretty sure, and I think there's a video on that. And then this is the last page. This was done in June 2022. We've got gelatos in the background and pencils for the picture. And that's the Million Sloths. If you want to color a sloth page in here, let me know. Always happy to do that. The other fun book that I do like, and I do have a buddy color coming up, I believe in June, yes. And it's a Million Llamas, and llamas are just also adorable. In fact, there's a acreage close to my house that has some llamas. Well, I'm not sure if they're alpacas or llamas, so I'm not quite sure what the difference is, but they do look similar. Here's a page from March 2023. And I have taken this book, I believe, on holiday with me in the past. Now here is a bright color page. Now I know I did this as a buddy color, and I believe it was with Nikki from Knick Knack Colors. And I just made this nice and bright. Really happy with how this page turned out. It doesn't look like I wrote a date on it, but I know it was from 2024, I believe. I like how bright the all the colors are. I tried to use kind of rainbow colors for the whole page. So yeah, that was fun. Now at the Dollar Tree, they have washi tape, and it's adorable. It's llama washi tape. So of course I had to buy it so that I could use it in this book. So I used this Artex pencils and some paint pens, and I did this in February of 2023. So I've had the washi tape for a while, and I just love how this page turned out. It's just a cute little family. And here we are. We've got ink in the background this time, and pencil. And we've got ink, we've got some glossy glazed gel pen for the bottles, glass, lots of pencil. Pencil is my preferred medium, which is why it's... So this was a buddy color in June of 2024. I used Prismacolor pencils, Staedtler pigment pens, and I used the palette 84, and it was a challenge with Cindy Visor, my buddy, and we both used the same palette, and it was actually a very challenging palette to use for this page, but we both made it work, and I'm happy with the results. So yeah. I typically am a realistic type colorist, so coloring something pink and orange or brown and yellow is a hard thing for me to do, but I had fun, and yeah, so that was done in June of 2024, I believe. And this is a double page. It's not, I guess, intended as a double page spread, but quite often I like to use the same background or a complementary background on each and then tie the colors together. So this was a buddy color. I know, I'm just not sure who with, but on the outside of all of these glass terrarium things, I used the glaze. And yeah, happy with how that turned out. And here we are, ink for the background. I used on top, I colored it with pencil and then some gel pen on top. And then these bits here that are really shiny, I used Winsor Newton iridescent medium on top of the colored pencil. I kind of thought these were like marshmallow type candy, so that's why I did that. And this is the page coming up, this one. And that's it for this book. So those are all my pages from Million Llamas. Our final book here, and I'm going to check the make sure we're in screen. We are. Great. So this is the Kawaii Tarot coloring book, and at first I was not interested in the book just because it was a different size, although I do really like the size, but it wasn't along her same Million Little series, and I wasn't really interested in the tarot. Then I started watching Candace from Happy Catastrophe. She has a hashtag Color the Tarot, and she had done a series. I'm hoping she's going to continue with it, so shout out to Candace, please continue, because I've been learning a lot, and I've been doing it in order at the beginning of the book. So we will just zip to those. It's pretty much a one-sided book, but I still have not used alcohol markers in this book, so I still prefer to use pencils, pigment pens, and stuff like that. Although I have been using quite a bit of watercolor to do the borders, and I have quite a bit of sparkle on this page to make it all sparkly. So Candace has been letting us know, showing us examples of different tarot coloring books that she has, and also explaining what the cards mean and the significance of them and her interpretation. So I've just been learning about it. I didn't know anything before. This is the Magician, and this time I used watercolor again, and I also used it on here itself and some ink tints. So yeah, lots of shininess. So the main ones at the beginning all are full-size pictures, and at the back they're less. So these are the major arcana, and so I've been doing most of them. So these are pomegranates, and I wouldn't have known that without listening to Candace and the significance of pomegranates. So I'm glad I have been following her along before I colored the page, so I kind of know what I'm somewhat doing. And I switched from gold to this really beautiful color from the Rainbow Claro watercolor set. I like how she turned out. Then I started using, this is gold washi tape for a border instead of the paint, but I did use paint along here, or that actually could be gel pen. I find Lulu Mayo's abstract scenery sometimes difficult to figure out, so I'm hoping that these are what they are, but it's my coloring book, so I guess I'll do what I want anyways. But I tried to make this like stained glass and different colors, but yeah. And then we have the Hierofant. Again, I used washi tape. I used glittery washi tape on the edge, and lots of gel pen and pencil. This is a pencil blended background, which I don't often do, but there was enough area here that wasn't overwhelming, and I thought a blended background would work well. And then I've got iridescent, Winsor iridescent medium painted over top of the clouds that I had already colored, so that's why they're shiny. Then we have the lovers. Again, this is washi tape. I'm liking finally using up some of my washi tape supply, so really happy with that. Again, a pencil background, which I don't often do. So this pencil, and then this gold is actually the Dollar Tree, this one here, the glitter marker by Ink. So you shake it up and pump it, and yeah. This one I wasn't totally thrilled with, but it's a completed page. I tried using ink tints on the top, and I wasn't totally happy with how it turned out. I did use washi tape for the border again, lots of pencil. So it's done. This one is Strength. Again, washi tape border, pencil. This time I went a little crazy. I picked colors that I wasn't, I think go well together, but definitely you're not going to see purple mountains anywhere. But there was a lot of, if I did white-capped mountains, this is also a snow leopard, and I didn't think you'd be able to see him. So I gave him gold spots, and I did the mountains purple. I've got ink tents everywhere, and then some paint. And I used, for the border this time, I used a Mirabeau Aqua pen in graphics. And a little bit of washi on the bottom. So very different page, but when you move it around, it actually has quite a bit of shine to it. Okay, so this border, I was thrilled to finally be able to use it. It was a ribbon that I had gotten on a present, and it's a green metallic with a gold filigree design on it. And I love the ribbon. I'd kept it in my little craft stash here for a couple of years, and it was just the right size to go around here, and so I glued it with glue and used it like washi tape, and yeah, really happy with how that turned out. I put some of it right here under the base of the Ferris wheel here, the Wheel of Fortune, and then it wasn't quite wide enough down here, so I just did black there, and I think it really worked well. So happy with how this turned out. I used a lot of the gel pen and some glaze pens to do this, and made some rainbows. So yeah, totally different. So yeah, my favorite ribbon is now memorialized in my book, and happy with that. This is Justice, and I used Staedtler pigment pens and the Pitt pens and some Jelly Roll. So this time this is a pigment marker for the edge, and some paint here. But I did kind of pastel circus tones, and I like how it turned out. I like the color palette, and I did this in August of 2024. Then we have the Hangman, and he's an owl, which I love owls, so that was easy to do. I used Winsor Newton iridescent medium or gold paint, I'm not sure which, on top of here. I've used some paint along, sparkly paint everywhere, and then a lot of pencil and some pigment pens, and then we've got glossy accents on the eyes here, but the glaze pens for the smaller eyes. So I like how this turned out, and all of the stars are watercolor. So this paper handles watercolor a little bit better than her other paper, but it's still, I mean, none of our coloring books, unless they say watercolor paper, have any sizing on them. So it's definitely, and that's where we've left off with Candace. So we haven't done Death or a bunch of others. So when people have asked to buddy color with me, I've done buddy colors at the back. So this is the, so we've got a bunch of pages that are not colored, and then we've started with some buddy colors. So the rest of these will be buddy colors. And I'm trying to pick, so like these are all minor cards. So I've done the outline on some of the pages to, like the borders, to keep them cohesive. But lots of sparkle, ink, glaze pens. I can't just use one thing, you know. So then you have some bigger pictures back here as well, but they're not as big, so they're large, but they're not as big. And then you have, so this is Ace of Coins. This is a buddy color, and I did it in August of 2024. And I used washi tape along here. And then this is also in August 2024. Again, we got washi tape. And then we've got some paint and some glaze pens and some, all of my normal suspects in here. And so this is the ace of coins. So there's one coin here. Then the two of coins has two coins, and it goes on and on. So I've tried to make the coins all the same in all of the pictures. So this is three of coins. So I've used a Signo gold and a black glaze pen for the coins. And I've just gone through and done them. Now this background is done with my highlighters. So I started using the Bible gel highlighters by Mr. Pen. And let's see if I have one handy. It's like this. So it's a cream highlighter. You put it on. You can color on top of it, but not overly well. So I try and use it on areas where, you know, I just want the background. And then this is all done in pencil. And I wasn't sure what some of her creatures are. So sometimes I do need help figuring things out. I've got the washi tape ready for this one. And I think that's it. That is it. So those are all of my pages from Lulu Mayo books. I love her illustration style. It's definitely something non-realistic, which is good for me and my brain to kind of turn off and have just some fun. Quite often you know, an elephant needs to be gray, you know, like a giraffe is brown and light brown. So sometimes books where the animals are drawn quirky just gives me the license and liberty to be more creative and use a color palette and just have fun. So I hope you're having fun with your coloring books. I hope you had a fun, relaxing time watching this video. Based on the feedback from my first video, I will continue on and complete going through all my coloring books at some point. It may not be every week, but I certainly have been enjoying myself going back and seeing pictures that I haven't seen for a couple of years. So yeah, so thank you for suggesting this series. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a creative and colorful day. All right, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.